NBA totals for Wednesday. We're back at it again. We got 4 games on the card today. First time we've done 4 games in a while. I'll try to respond to your comments as we do this video, as I'm able to do so. But this is live coming to you from the morning of Thursday in Japan. So got really good slate of games today, I think. Some good totals to look at. Don't forget to check out our NCAA segment as well. That's going pretty well. So you might want to check that one out. That'll be on our YouTube page for Sportsbook Review. And of course, SBRpicks.com, Sportsbook Review, all the numbers, odds. You can check the line movements, sign up bonuses, blacklist. It's all there at Sportsbook Review. So be sure to check it out. And let's go ahead. Let's start looking at some totals. And I already see some comments coming up, and I'll get to those in just a bit. But let's start breaking down some games here. First one we got up is Oklahoma City and Memphis. Oddsmakers right now have it at 202.5. It dropped just a little bit, and I'm going to go under this total. Now, the last time they met up, Russell Westbrook got kicked out, and the Thunder didn't play too well. They got beat 114-80. They got crushed in Memphis. But they couldn't make a shot. They shot 33.8% from the floor, 18% from distance. Just terrible. And Memphis shot over 50%, from the interior extended and from range. So, I don't see them doing that again in Oklahoma City. Big win for them the other night too, by the way, at Golden State. But what I like about the under in this was the pace. The pace was pretty slow. We got in that matchup, Oklahoma City, they got up 74 attempts. They'll get up more tonight. And Memphis, they've been one of the most controlled teams as far as tempo is concerned in the NBA, and they're not going to change that, even though they're playing at Oklahoma City. When we look at the pass between these two teams, this is actually a pretty big total for them. Usually it's set, over the last 10, 15 matchups, we've seen totals a little bit under 200, but they've played some really high affairs. They have. I mean, the last few years, I don't think it's going to happen tonight, though. The two teams, they can play some pretty solid defense. Memphis can play extremely good defense. So I like for this to stay under that 202.5, and I look for Memphis to be pretty decent at controlling that pace. All right, let's go next one up. Sorry, I'm reading comments as I'm doing this. Now I'm going to one of the later games, and I'm going to go backwards, just the way I wrote them down. All right, we got the Clippers versus Orlando. Oddsmakers have it at 209, and I'm also going under on this matchup. Now, they met back December 14th, and the Clippers won in Orlando 113-108. In that matchup, oddsmakers had the total at 210, and they went over, obviously. However, the pace was not that fast, and they knocked everything down. Clippers shot 50% from the floor, 52% from distance. Frank Vogel should have a better game plan tonight, I hope. Orlando shot 47% from the floor, and they shot 42% from distance. So both of them just shot lights out because the pace wasn't very fast. Clippers got up 74 attempts, and Orlando went pretty fast, 89 attempts. But that 209, I mean, the last time oddsmakers had it was 210. It went over, and now they've set the line lower. That kind of, that's a little bit of a numbers play right there where you just kind of have to take a look at that for a while and just think, they shot lights out that last game, and I don't see it happening again tonight. Okay, so a couple more stats about Orlando and the Clippers. Clippers have been a pretty good defensive team all year. They started out really, really solid the first 2 months. They've lacked a little bit. But you got an Orlando team. They're averaging 98.9 points per game. They're ranked 27th in the NBA. Clippers are allowing 102.5. They're ranked 7th. But Orlando, they're allowing 103.7. And that seems high, but that actually ranks 12th in the NBA, and their percentages are not bad. They're allowing 35.5% from distance. That ranks 12th in the league. That's not bad. And the Clippers, I mean, they rank 3rd right now in opponent two-point shooting percentage. They rank 5th in overall opponent shooting percentage. So they're 3rd in opponent shooting efficiency and effective field goal percentage. So I just don't see this getting over the 209. They're going to have to shoot like they did in that last game, and that's really hard to do. So I don't think they get over. And I'm going to back under with the Clippers and Orlando. All right, let's look at a couple comments here. I like the Sixers tonight. I like the Sixers to win straight up just because the Knicks have been terrible. And also the Knicks got that thing going on with Derrick Rose right now. This isn't really good. So, I mean, I lean to the Sixers, but 76ers aren't that great either. That's probably, you really have to look into that one, make sure there's nothing on the injury report. I got the Sixers in that one. That would be one of my plays. That one I had to look at for a while. And let's go ahead. Let's continue on. All right. So now we go back to one of the earlier plays. We got Washington and Boston. This is a numbers play for me, for sure. 217.5, and I'm going over. Now they're both coming off their second leg of a back-to-back. I'll get to my best pick. I don't know about that one. That's always hard. You know, sometimes guys out there want me to say, well, what's your best pick of the night? It's for me. They're, you know, where's the value? That's what it's all about for me. And so I look for where the value's at, and then I go ahead and, you know, I make my assessment, and I let you guys know. And it's been pretty successful. You know, we got a winning record in both NBA totals and NCAA totals. I might say like a spread pick. Like I really like that pick. Like yesterday I said Utah, that's my favorite pick. You know, so I might say that, but it doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't mean, you know, don't control your units. I mean, you got to kind of spread it out and be smart about money management and stuff like that. All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's talk about that Washington Boston. Okay, so oddsmakers have it at 217.5. I'm going over. And this is similar to a couple plays I've had this week. This is the highest total they have ever had since 2004. They've never had a total this high. The last time they matched up was 212.5. They had 214 before that, and they went under on both of those. Now they went under on both of those last two matchups, and oddsmakers have set this one higher. Something's really interesting with that one. So I'm going over that total. Now, they did match up way earlier in the season with Washington handling business 118-93. Tempo was really good in that game. Both teams shot decently well, but the tempo was solid, and Boston only scored 8 points in the first quarter. So I could see why odds makers kind of, you know, boosted this total up a little bit, but it makes sense, and I'm going over. I think that's going to be a track meet. Okay, last one up, and then I'll get to some comments. Cleveland, Portland, 220.5, and I'm going over because this one's going to be a blast. And like that Boston, Washington game, this is the highest total. Now, two different conferences, but this is the highest total, again, since 2003 that we've ever seen between Portland and Cleveland. You know, they don't match up that much, but they just had a 218.5, that really, really unbelievable high-scoring affair, 137 to 125, where they just went absolutely bananas, and that game was in Cleveland. Now they're both on the second leg of a back-to-back. Portland coming back from LA, Cleveland, tough loss at Utah. Now they get to go against a Portland team that gets up and down, way different than Utah, and I think they're just going to have fun, get up and down. There's going to be no defense. In that matchup, yeah, they shot lights out, but they both got up 90 attempts. That's what we like to see. Now that 220.5, I know Portland had to like bus in and stuff like that, but still, I think they got enough rest to go ahead and get up and down. They'll be excited to play Cleveland. 220.5, that's a lot of points. Unless they just don't make a bucket, this is going over. I really think these guys are going to get up and down the floor. And again, this is the highest total we've seen from odds makers with these two teams. But I think that's kind of a trend this year. I think we're going to see more of that because it's just a high-scoring year. I mean, these games are just been crazy. Teams are so efficient nowadays. So I'm not going to get the statistics very much about Cleveland and Portland. They're both up-tempo teams. They both have good shooting percentages. And Portland plays zero defense. Cleveland a little bit better, about the middle of the league in most defensive percentages. All right, let's go ahead and let's recap that. I'll get to some comments, and then we'll go ahead and we will end this session. We have 4 on the day, so I kind of went quick because I wanted to get this done. We got Oklahoma City, Memphis under the 202.5 in a game. I think Memphis is going to probably control the tempo. That's a really solid Memphis club. Clippers, Orlando under the 209. That line looks a little bit off. Cleveland, Portland over the 220.5. In a game I think is going to get really up and down. Same thing with Washington and Boston over the 217.5. So some big totals, but I think they go over. So those are our 4 NBA picks. Let's go ahead and let's respond to some comments here. As far as the spreads today, I like Philadelphia. I actually have an article about that about Philadelphia. I looked at that one for a while. That line dropped. It went from 2 to 1.5. I kind of like Minnesota, but Levine is out, and so is Gordon for Houston. So you got 2 of their key guys out for each side. So I don't know, but they're catching Houston off a back-to-back. I kind of like Minnesota to win that game straight up. That's about it, though. That's about it. The Knicks and Sixers, 0 defense. You think that game goes over? I don't know. The Knicks are so unpredictable right now. I mean, they're the fastest tempo team in the NBA. Oddsmakers have that about 209.5. That's about right. Philadelphia can play a little bit defense. They rank in the middle of the league in most defensive percentages, so that's kind of – I think they got that one right, so I stayed off that one. I don't really have a best pick, and I do not do NFL. I'm not that college football. I'm okay. Actually, if you guys remember my video the other day, I said I like Clemson to win straight up. So NCAA football, I usually do pretty well. But NFL, I've never been strong with the NFL, so I usually stay away from it. Okay. All right. So one more quick drink of coffee. All right. Let's wrap this up. Once again, I do like I like Philadelphia with the spread. I like Philadelphia to win straight up, and I kind of like Minnesota to win straight up. That's about it, though. I think the odds makers have the rest correct. And we already had our totals picked, so that's it for this session today. And we'll be back tomorrow. Again, NCAA picks are out there, as well as SBRpicks.com, Sportsbook Review. Check it all out. YouTube page, Facebook page, YouTube channel, Facebook page, all that good stuff. And I wish you luck on your picks today.